that. And just keep it close. And then the blanket, if you don't have a block, you can use a blanket to sit up on or to prop yourself with, okay? Let me start a little timer just to keep us.
Melanie, can you mute everybody? So
yeah, I'll mute. And then if you guys want to put yourselves on speaker view, then Rick will be very big and we'll all be smaller.
On speaker view.
Everybody's muted now.
Hi, Brandy.
Hi.
Hey, Brandy.
Excuse my crazy hair.
We all got it.
Couldn't even tell. So I don't know if it makes me big now, but hopefully you can see me. I'm at the top in the middle on my screen. So I might turn from facing forward to facing sideways so you guys can help, or to help you see what we're going to do. But to start, we're going to start seated with our feet out in front of us, just like this. Okay?
Rick, you could move yourself to speaker view too, and you'll be big on your screen. You'll see what we're seeing.
Okay. Well, I kind of want to see you guys to make sure you're, that's fine. As long as you guys can hear me. Sorry. I kind of want you guys to be able to hear me and see me and all that good stuff. So you're going to come to this position to start out with, okay? You're going to sit nice and tall. You're going to ground down into your sit bones, okay? And then what you want to do is you want to keep your legs about 90 degrees here. Reach underneath. You can grab your wrist. You can grab your arm. And then just, the dogs are going to join us too. Abby's dogs are joining us. And then you can just relax down and fold forward. Take a nice big breath in. And then fold forward and relax over your legs. And just rest down and sink down into that position over your legs. And then let your head fall down and you can rest in there. You may find that you're can sink down a little more than others. This morning I did this and I could barely even touch my legs. Now I can go down a lot farther from relaxing into the day. So just sit here and get focused with your breath. So throughout our whole class today, I want you to focus on your breathing. Just focus on nice 4-second inhales and 4-second exhales. And if you find your mind starting to wander, then just start focusing on your breath. You can always count your breathing. That helps me a lot. Okay, so just sink down in here. Get focused on your breath and breathe. See if with each breath you can relax a little bit farther each time. Take 2 more breaths in. 2 more breaths in, 2 more exhales. Then come up slowly off of your legs, kind of roll back up your lower back, then your mid back, then your upper back, until you're sitting upright and your head last, okay? From there, you're gonna slide your legs in a little closer to yourself. So bring them in a little bit closer if you can. If you have to, you can put your arms back here to balance if you're finding it hard to stay upright. But slide your feet in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a big breath with your arms up. And then you're going to exhale over to the right. Inhale back to center, exhale to the left. And then just go back and forth a few times. Making sure to always inhale over to one side, exhale, and inhale over to the other side. Go back and forth a few times. Just trying to loosen up your low back. On your next breath, inhale back to the center. Okay, you can drop your arms. What I want you to do is I want you to widen your feet about the width of your mat, if you have a mat. And this time we're going to do the same kind of turn, but we're going to rotate with our legs over to this side and then over to this side. If you need to put your hand back, you can put your hand back for balance. But if you can't, you can just kind of rotate your hips just like this. Rotate over to the right, hold that for a second. Rotate over to the left, hold that for a second. You can keep your hands in front of you for balance, or you can put them down if you find it easier to put them down for balance. But you're just loosening up your hips a little bit. Adria, I love that you always have a big smile on your face. So does Abby. Okay, go back and forth a few times, just loosening up those hips. Take 3 more breaths as you go back and forth. On your next inhale, come back to center. Now you're going to put your feet into a butterfly position, known as Baddha Konasana, which is butterfly. So get your feet out into butterfly. And then what I want you to do is I want you to put your left leg out. So left leg goes straight out, your right leg is still in that butterfly. Okay? And now what we're going to do is we're going to fold towards the left leg. So take a big breath up and just fold down towards the left leg. Some of you may be able to get your arms flat, get your head to your knees. Some of you are just going to barely be bending like I am, but just forward or fold forward down towards that leg and breathe. We're going to take about 5 or 6 breaths here over towards this left leg. Here's where you can use your block or your blanket if you need some extra support. If you can't go as far down and you want to put something underneath you, you can grab some of your props to help you out. A few more breaths here. Try to keep your sit bones nice and flat. Try not to let that right hip raise up too much. On your next inhale, come back to center. This time you're going to take that right foot and you're going to bring it in so it touches your inner thigh. Okay? Everybody looks good. Now I want you to inhale your right arm up and then lean over to the left. Again, you can take a prop and you can lean on that. That works really well if you're not super flexible like me. So you make it a stretch in the left leg, down the left side of your left leg. But this is not about that. This is about stretching all this area right here on the right side. So really try to extend those fingertips all the way through your fingertips and reach down over and really stretch that right side. And breathe. The more you can breathe into that lower back, the more you'll be able to relax into the pose. Again, keep that right hip bone down, keep your sit bone down. Don't let it rise up too much. Two more breaths. Your next inhale, come back to center. This time, bring your leg forward. So your leg should be forward now, but you're still on that inner thigh. You're forward. Now I want you to take a big inhale up, and you're going to reach down towards that leg. This is a good time for the strap or the belt or the towel. If you can't reach as far, you can grab with the, around your foot, and you can grab the strap and you can reach down. The straighter that leg that's on the ground, the better. So the leg that you're bending down over, the straighter you can keep that leg and flatter, the better. And again, breathe into that low back and you'll be able to relax down into it. Three more breaths. Remember, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. On your next inhale, come on up. Put both legs out in front of you. You can wiggle them out a little, see if you feel a difference between the right and the left. Okay. Now I want you to put your legs back into that butterfly position. Get centered, ground down through your sit bones, get nice and centered. Now we're going to extend the right leg over. Now we're going to repeat on, the other side. I stopped my timer. So, sorry, I'm trying to reset my timer. So fold, reach down over towards that right leg now. Inhale up and then breathe over towards that right leg. Few more breaths. Inhale back to center. Bring that foot into the inner thigh. Now that you have the foot into your inner thigh, inhale that left arm up and then reach it over and stretch all the way down that left side. Again, you can use a prop to rest your right arm on if you want to rest it on the block, if you can't go all the way down, or on your blanket or pillow, whatever you have around there. Maybe he's got a nice little purple ball, I see. Remember, stretch all the way from your fingertips. If you can reach out those fingertips, you'll feel that stretch intensify down that left side. You can have your hand palm facing down. You can have it facing outward. Either way, you'll get a good stretch. A few more breaths. Inhale back up to center. Keep that left foot on your inner thigh. Bring your leg back out in front. Now you're going to inhale up and you're going to forward fold over that leg. Again, you can use your strap, your towel. If you can't quite reach the leg or get too low. And keep breathing. You may find one side a little tighter or looser than the other. If you have to, you can put a little micro bend in that leg that's on the ground and then bend down and then try to straighten it out, and you get a little bit more of a release. 2 more breaths. Your next inhale, come back up. Get both legs out in front. Wiggle them out a little bit. Now you can turn sideways on your mat if you want. We're going to be lying down here. So what we're going to do is we're not just going to plop down, okay? We're going to go down very slow and intentionally. So I like to bend the legs to go down to have a little more support on the low back. But you want to take a nice big breath into your low back, and then you're going to go slowly down. Your low back, your mid back, upper back, and then your head last as you lie down. So nice big breath, and then lower yourself down slowly. You guys can still see me. Okay, you can still see me. Good. All right. From here, once you're down, you can straighten out your legs. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull, you're going to keep your head down. My head's up just so I can see you guys, but we're going to put your head down. You're going to pull your right knee into your chest. Okay. And you're going to give yourself a nice stretch there. If it's a little trouble to pull it in straight, you can go a little outward and pull it towards your armpit, and you might feel a little more release in that hamstring by doing that as opposed to pulling it straight. That works for me. Make sure you keep your left hip down. And then while we're here, we're just going to do some ankle rolls. So do some ankle circles. Do 5 in one direction, and then do 5 in the other direction. I don't know if you can hear, but you might get a little crack out of there like I am in the ankle. That's okay. Keep stretching that in, keep breathing. Next, what I want you to do is grab your strap or towel. Okay, hopefully it's within arm's reach. If not, grab it and go back down. Then get it around that foot. And I want you to straighten that leg as best as you can while you still hold it with two hands. Okay? If you have a little bend in your leg, that's okay. But you want to try to straighten this leg. And we're just going to hold this and breathe. If you have a long enough strap, you can drop your arms down, drop your elbows down, but you want your upper body completely relaxed. You're only stretching this leg. If you find that it doesn't want to release, you can bend your leg that's on the ground. That should give you a little more release in that leg that's up, and then you straighten the leg on the ground again. And you'll notice you've got more of a stretch by doing that. You can even do that a few times, and you'll notice the stretch will increase each time you do that. But make sure you keep your hips square and keep them nice and flat on the ground and just breathe. And we're going to sit here for a few seconds. Just keep breathing and try to focus your breath into that leg and into that hamstring. We'll take 4 more breaths here. Make sure your upper body's relaxed. Next, what I want you to do is I want you to transition your strap or your towel into just your right hand. So only the right hand. Okay? Once you have that, put your left arm out into a T. So you're into a T. And then you're going to take that leg and you're going to rotate it over to the left, but just a little bit, just past the midline. You're not trying to get this all the way to the ground or anything crazy. You're just going past center while keeping your hips flat on the mat. So you're not rolling all the way over like this. You're keeping your hips flat and you're just letting it go just past center while keeping tension on that leg. Make sure your right hip stays down and make sure you're breathing. And we'll do this, stay here for a few seconds. You may feel that stretch all the way down the right side of your leg. You should feel it on the upper part, even down into your shin, maybe the IT band, which always gets really tight on most people. You should get a real nice stretch through there. Just make sure you keep your shoulders flat and your hips flat. Take 5 more breaths here. From there, you're going to inhale it back to center. You're going to bend your leg and set your strap to the side because you're going to need that in a sec. And just bring your knee in and once again, hug it in close. You should feel a little bit looser in that hip now than from the first time. . Once you got a nice big stretch on there, I want you to take this leg and I want you to do 5 circles in each direction. You can grasp around your knee. You can do 5 nice circles in each direction. Really opening that hip. When you're done with the circles, you can pull it in close, give it one more hug, and then straighten that leg. Wiggle them out a little bit, get re-centered, get your hips ground down again. Now inhale your left knee in. Same thing, inhale it to your chest, maybe go a little bit towards the armpit, but try to get a nice starting stretch into that hip and that hamstring. Once you're in a good spot, do those 5 ankle circles in each direction. Get a nice good stretch with that leg. You can grab your strap or your towel. Get it around that foot and extend the foot straight up. Remember, if you're having trouble with this releasing, bend the right leg that's on the ground. Get that leg to release and then straighten that leg. You get a nice stretch on that leg that's going up. Make sure you ground down into those hips. Keep them nice and square and flat. And breathe. Take 10 breaths here. And relax the upper body. You can, as you breathe, you can try to stretch it a little bit more. Just go to comfortable discomfort level. Not where it hurts, but comfortable discomfort. Couple more breaths. Next, transition that strap into your left hand. Right arm goes out to a T. And then you're going to drop that leg to the right, just past the midline. Again, keep your shoulders on the ground, your hips flat. Just go slightly over and get that nice stretch down the left side of that leg, the shin, the IT band, all of that. And just relax and breathe. Five more breaths here. On your next breath, bring that leg in. Set your strap aside, hug it in close. Find some looseness in that hip. And then do 5 circles in each direction. Feel the openness of that hip. See how it's changed from where you were before. When you've done your circles, you're going to straighten both legs. Stay here. Wiggle them out a little bit. Get them balanced and centered again. Then you're going to bring your legs up. Take a breath and bring them both in close. If you want, you can go around the shins. You can go around the thighs and hamstrings. You can hug there. Either way is fine. You can go just on your knees. Get a nice big stretch there into the lower back and the hamstrings. And keep breathing into that lower back. Take a few more breaths here. From here, we're going to get our hands on our knees, just right below the knees. And we're going to go into what's called a modified happy baby. So you're going to kind of, I'm not going to face the camera for this, you guys don't want me to. So you're going to want to kind of spread your legs out wide and just let gravity do its thing by stretching out those hips. If you want, you can even rest your hands down and just let your legs kind of do their thing on your own, or you can let your hands kind of pull them down, but this should be very restful. You shouldn't be forcing your legs out or putting any strain on your knees. Very restful. Make sure your low back is flat. And once you get in a nice comfortable spot, I want you to take 5 slow breaths right in that spot. When you've done your 5, you can drop your heels to the ground. Bring your legs back together. And I want you to bring them left and right, kind of like we did earlier in class, but this time with your back flat. Left and right on your legs with your knees bent. Just bringing them from side to side. Just go back and forth about 10 times. Really loosen up that low back and those hips. After you've done your 10, you can inhale them back to the center. And what I want you to do is take a nice big breath and then hug your knees back in again. And this time we're going to slowly rock back and forth until you rock yourself up, back to seated, okay? So nice, you can kind of get a little massage in that low back. Once you're up, you can come back to your legs in the butterfly position. You should feel a little bit looser in your hips. We're going to take one big breath and one stretch up. Stretch over to the right. Inhale up. Exhale over to the left. Inhale up. And one forward to the center. You should feel looser and able to drop down easier. Get some final breaths in, just relaxing that low back. Then roll yourself up slowly. Remember, low back, mid back, upper back, head, last. You can bring your hands into your heart center. Thank you all for going through this practice with me. Namaste.
Thanks, Rick.
I hope that released some tension in your hamstrings and hips and your low back.
Thanks, Rick.
You're welcome.
Felt good. Just what we needed. Just the right pace.
Okay, good.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Bye.
Will
too.
do.
Bye-bye.
See you
Thank
guys
you.
tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Rick.
You're welcome.